No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, yeah! Look at this! Look at this guy, huh? Come on, you know the drill. Please stand and join us. Y'all ready to rise up? Rise up this morning. Rise up and say, love is alive in our heart, in my life today. That's right. I can feel it, spirits in this place. I can see it shining on each face. Rise up this morning. Rise up and say, love is alive in our hearts, in our lives today. Yeah, we're feeling it. Here for each other, the way it's meant to be. Sisters and brothers, one great family. Rise up this morning. Rise up and say, love is alive everywhere in the world today. All right, time to get those hands going. Let's hear it. Ready? Rise up, yeah. Rise up this morning. Rise up and say, what you gonna say? Love is alive in my heart, in my life, everywhere in the world, every face in this place. Love is alive. Woo. Give yourselves a hand. That was awesome.
First off, I'm Reverend Mekdeci, and I just want to say what an honor it is. A little nervous to be up here filling in shoes. Here you go. I'll just use this. Do I need to start over? Filling in for the honorable and beautiful, because I think she's watching, Reverend, yes, dear. Reverend Paula. Paula giving herself a little birthday present. She's up seeing her daughter, her son-in-law, and her little grandbaby-to-be. And that's right. This is Paula's birthday weekend. Yesterday she turned... Caught it. And yesterday was Paula's birthday. So you all want to turn around and say, happy birthday, Reverend Paula, real quick into the camera. Happy birthday, Reverend Paula. There we go. Now I'm golden. So this is a strange Sunday, isn't it? Groundhog Day and Super Bowl Sunday. Plus it's 0202 2020. 0202. Yeah, a lot of strange vibes going on. Us Chiefs fans have our fingers crossed because they say if Mahomes comes out and sees a shadow, it's another 50 years to a Super Bowl. That's a good joke. Yeah. But unity is a positive path for spiritual living. All of the messages of music you hear here are always empowering, uniting, and life-affirming. Unity Renaissance is part of the larger unity movement. It's been around for about 125 years. And Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore stated that unity is the continuation of the educational movement started by Jesus, which means we do what Jesus taught, the lessons about what Jesus taught, not the lessons about Jesus, around Jesus. And like Jesus, we honor all paths to God, all faces of God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And also like Jesus, we see each and every one of you as a divine, unique expression of God. And because of that, you are always welcome here, just as you are. We have a great big vision statement at Unity Renaissance together. A spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And we make that happen through our mission statement, short and sweet. We transform lives that transform the world. Let's, who's giving me a, oh, I think I found the problem. Check, 1, 2. 1, 2? Okay, there we go. Yay! Let's take that joy into a time of prayer. Please. As we take a deep breath together, we know the great truth that there's only one presence and one power in your life, in the sanctuary, in the universe. That power is God. That power is good. And that power is where we live and move and have our being. So from this place of oneness, we bless this service today, all who enter it and all who are watching online. And we move forward today in immense gratitude for this opportunity to come together in community and experience God together. We affirm a perfect unfoldment of this day, and we declare it so by saying, and so it is together, and so it is. Let's stand up now, sing our second congregational song. This is an affirmation put to music. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Let's say that together. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Right. Let's make it so. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Say it again. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Where do you feel it? I can feel it in my body, all over. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Oh no, something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me The divine in me greets the divine in you. And we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God. Here we go.
All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
Say it again.
Something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
Let's say it together.
Something wonderful.
Yeah, nicely done. I hope I didn't forget.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. I was feeling so wonderful, I almost didn't come up. Thank you, our music team. And good morning to those who are live streaming with us today. You are part of our family, and we're so delighted to have you. Today, our word is guidance. So please join me in repeating the affirmation. God's wisdom, love, and understanding are written on my heart. In the Bible, the prophet Jeremiah shares an inspiring vision describing God's promise to put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts. God's law is spiritual principle which brings order to the universe and everything in it. It is also God's living, guiding presence in my mind, in my heart, and in my life. Through my prayer and meditation practice, I open to the spiritual law at work in my life. My understanding grows in harmony with this law, and my discernment leads me to make sound decisions in every area of my life. In the silence, I claim the wisdom, love, and understanding that are inherently mine and allow them to guide me. In our prosperity class, plus class that's been taught, Reverend Richard taught it a couple of months ago, and Penny Chan says now, we have a book on the law, how the law, and Jeremiah is speaking to that in there, that law is planted in our hearts, and we can use it to become very prosperous in every area of our lives. That's why it's Prosperity Plus. I just had to put that, not unplugging the class, but it came to me that, oh my God, Jeremiah spoke these words 2,000 years ago, and it's been internalized for those who take the class and who learn it. It's really becoming a part of us. So our scripture today is also from Jeremiah, 31st chapter, 33rd verse. I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. We have prayer chaplains available to meet with you after the service. They can be recognized by their prayer shawls, and they will be there to just give you that, keep you in the center and light for anything that your heart is reaching out for discussion or need or celebration. They are there for that, holding the image of whom you are in that light. And today, our prayer chaplains are Lisa Grady, Don Grady, and Grace Marshall. And you can see them there in their Charles. So now may we all stand and sing the Lord's Song.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name.
your will
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
For all the kingdom, power and praise, with you began and with you stays. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. Oh, the sculptor Michelangelo was asked how he got in the flow and made the lovely David from a giant block of stone. He said, he was in there waiting. My job was simply excavating. I just took away what did not belong. And I know somewhere not so deep inside of me lives that perfect soul that I was meant to be. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart. I'll chip away all jealousy and hatred and reveal God's perfect work of art. Well, I believe we're born on angels' wings. Heaven sends such graceful things, like love without condition, knowing we are not alone. Then descends the soul's dark night, shadows come and block the light. And as the years go by, we turn to stone. My
block of stone is made of fear and doubt, but the real me is crying to come out. Let me be the way I was created. Let me find a pure and simple heart, a chip away all jealousy and hatred, and reveal God's perfect work of art, and reveal God's perfect work of art.
Awesome. I love that song. You know, there's that big marble block, and they asked how Michelangelo, he said, David was just in there waiting. I just had to take away everything else that didn't belong, and there he was. And that's how we are with our own soul sometimes. We have to just remove all of that fear and doubt and reveal that perfect work of art. Well, it's February 2nd. Wondering how y'all are doing with your New Year's resolution list. I get a lot of laughs. It must be like me, right? I call mine my January wish list, basically, is what it amounts to. This is my favorite definition of a New Year's resolution. A New Year's resolution is something that goes in one year and out the other. Isn't that great? Half of Americans make New Year's resolutions, and only about 10% of those make it past January or February, at which point we just kind of like throw our hands up in the air, resign ourselves to failure, and shelve those New Year's resolutions till the next year. And after a couple years, our list starts looking like this. Just cross out the year. I like this one. I like number 5. Be nicer to my wife. Try to be nicer to my wife. Try to be nicer to my ex-wife. A lot can happen in 3 years, right? So New Year's is the most popular time to initiate positive change in your life because there's a psychic energy around it. You know, there's a psychic energy. It's in the air. Change is in the air. And most of all because, of course, January 1st represents the beginning of a new year. We're all excited about that. It's a new year. We can start over. This is the year that I'm going to get in shape. You know, this is the year I'm going to improve my relationships with my relatives. This is the year. So that New Year feeling, it's kind of like the clean slate. Boyd was telling us earlier how every Monday for him is a clean slate, how he gets to rewrite the week and start over. Well, every New Year is a clean slate for us, and as it turns out, us human beings love clean slates. The Quest, which is one of Unity's fundamental texts, is written by Richard and Mary Alice Jaffola. The very first chapter is called Starting Over, You Can Begin Again and Again. And the first words of the chapter are these. It is the desire of every human being to feel he or she can begin anew. Do you not feel this need in your own soul? Think about it, the need to begin anew. This idea of a clean slate, I think that this need to begin, this need we feel to start over and over again really comes from that seed of perfection in us. So we have the seed of perfection, it's always wanting to express itself. It's always wanting to come out. It's always wanting to be birthed and rebirthed. And when we do something, we feel like, I could have done that better. I wish I could do that again. That's that seed of perfection saying, you can start again. You can do it over and over again. So this idea of a clean slate really resonates for me because I was raised a good Catholic boy, at least up till the age I was 22. And that's when I went off to Nashville to become a world-famous singer and songwriter. So I'm here now, so I guess it turned out that I went to Nashville to find unity, because that's where I found unity. So that's a whole different story. But one of the centerpieces of Catholicism, of course, is the sacrament of confession. And as a young boy and teenager, I loved confession because it gave me a clean slate. You know, if I would eat meat on Friday, back when it was forbidden to eat meat on Friday, or took $1 from my mother's purse, or lied about getting out of school that day. I never did any of those things, by the way. The shame and the guilt would just haunt me relentlessly until that time I walked into that booth and kneeled down. I heard the window open up. I made the sign of the cross and I said, Father, forgive me, for I have sinned. It has been usually 2 weeks or so since my last confession. These are my sins. And then I proceed to tell him what an awful person I'd been that last week. And he would listen. At least it appeared. I didn't hear any snoring. He would listen, and then when I was done, he would give me some sage, fatherly, priestly advice. It basically amounted to, don't do that. Those things you just told me you did, don't do those. And then comes the penance. The penance was the big thing. This is where I found the true gravity of my sins and how mad God was at me. Now, for me, I usually got 3 Hail Marys and 2 Our Fathers, which wasn't too bad. I think that was about average. If Father Tom was here, I could probably ask him. 3 Hail Marys and 2 Our. That took me about a minute, 2 minutes to get through. If you're really bad, you get the whole rosary. You got to do the whole. That's 15, 20 minutes. It's torture for a little kid. But it was okay though, because when I left there, I had a clean slate. My sins were wiped clean. My soul was pure. God had nothing on me. I could ask God for anything now, he would have to grant it, because my soul is clean. I am worthy. I am worthy. When Jesus healed the paralytic, the one that they lowered through the roof for him, he said, your sins are forgiven. Take up your mat and walk. And I imagine he felt the same way I did. Jesus just forgave my sins. My soul is clean. I have a beautiful, clean slate. God has nothing on me. I'm worthy. God would have to grant anything I ask right now. I want to be healed. Take up your mat and walk. Okay. Got out of there. Now, you don't have to go to confession to experience that clean slate. Anytime you seek forgiveness from somebody you feel you've wronged, you're really going to them for a clean slate. You're really asking them that you have a desire to begin anew with them. You want to earn their trust back again. You want to release that guilt and shame you felt over whatever it is you did that you felt hurt that person. And because of the healing power of forgiveness, that gift that they've given you, you really want to try harder next time to do better and not to hurt them again. Go and sin no more, as Jesus would say. And this is even more profound when you apply it to self-forgiveness. Okay, like when you're actually wanting a clean slate with yourself. When you want a do-over with yourself. In essence, you're actually forgiving your own sins. And we have the power to do that. When the Pharisees reprimanded Jesus for forgiving sins, he said, the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. I wasn't talking about just himself. The Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So you have the authority to forgive your own sins. You can step into the day each day with a clean slate. Give yourself a clean slate every day. It's like stepping out into the doors with a bright sunshine in your face. It's a beautiful feeling. And this idea of starting over and over again every day with a clean slate is so beautifully illustrated in the film. What is today? In the film Groundhog Day. You got it. There it is. There's Bill. There's Phil and Rita. I know most of you all have seen this. When we showed this a few months ago, everybody raised their hand, but then everybody showed up to watch it again. It's one of those movies you can watch over and over. The basic premise of the movie is if you could live long enough, would you change? Would you change? Would you ever change? So Groundhog Day, yeah, me either. You're in the right place this morning, girl. So Groundhog Day is about Phil. He's a grumpy weatherman. He's condescending, he's mean to everybody, and he's very egotistical. He thinks the whole world revolves around him. And for some strange reason, it might be the freak snowstorm that leaves him stranded, he gets caught in living the same day over and over and over again. And it's not just any day. It's the day he hates the most, Groundhog Day, because he's a weatherman. There's a rodent telling us the weather. in a town he hates the most, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, is the very first Groundhog Day back in 1832. But so every morning at 6 a.m., to his bewilderment, he wakes up to the alarm clock singing "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher, and the DJs announcing at the top of their lungs, it's Groundhog Day. And no matter what he does or who he talks to, he can't seem to break this cycle. Just keeps repeating. And at first, Phil decides, because he's egotistical, he wants to use this newfound superpower for his own enjoyment, and he steals money. He figures out how to steal money. He fools women into sleeping with them. He acts out his fantasies of being Clint Eastwood and dresses up however he wants. It doesn't matter, because the next day, he's the only one that remembers what happened the day before. He tries to trick Rita into falling in love with him. He learns something new about her every day, and then the next day he tries to woo her with it. But she always sees through his ingenuineness and deceit, because it's not the true him. So pushed to the brink, Phil tries to kill himself. And this is one of the funniest ways he tries to kill himself. He kidnaps Phil, which is also, by the way, the groundhog. It might be another reason he hates it. Phil the groundhog and Phil the weatherman, he kidnaps him, drives him off a cliff. And into a fiery truck crash. And he jumps off buildings, he drops toasters in the bathtub, he does everything he can, but no matter what he does, every morning, 6 a.m., it's "I Got You, Babe," and those DJs like a knife in his heart shouting, "It's Groundhog Day." So, in life, when we are unable to make changes, or we hear that yearning, that urge to do something, and we just keep ignoring it and putting it on the back shelf and ignoring it, at some point, the universe is going to put something in your way to turn you around. Or you could say we are going to attract something to us that will turn us around. And for Phil, that was a homeless man that he would walk over every day, and he would see him there, he'd make eye contact, but almost totally ignored him. He learns that he dies that night. And out of his boredom, I guess, he decides, I'm going to make it my mission to save this guy. So every day he gets up and he goes to the homeless man, he picks him up, he gives him a coat, he takes him, he feeds him 3 meals, he even takes him to the doctors. But no matter what he does, that homeless man still dies at the end of the day. It's one more thing he doesn't have any control over. The nurse just says it's his time to go. But that little act of compassion can open up this little crack in that ego. And when that little crack opens up, that inner light gets to shine through. And when that inner light shines through, somewhere in between the thought processes, the heart gets to send a message. And that message is, you are powerful beyond belief. You need not suffer if you let me lead you now. Let me lead you now. So after Phil sees the fragility and the unpredictability of life, his priorities on how he wants to spend his day change. He starts helping people instead of exploiting them. And eventually he fills his entire day with acts of kindness and service, showing up under a tree to catch a kid just in time. He has his tire in his jack. He waits at the corner because he knows some ladies are going to come by with a flat tire, rushes out, changes their tire. He shows up at the restaurant every night to save the mayor's life with the Heimlich maneuver. He knows exactly where everyone will be at exactly when to show up to help them. And eventually he fills his entire day with helping people in service. Over time, he becomes a local hero and beloved by everyone because he's touched just about everyone's life in that one day. He gives this stirring speech at his umpteenth Groundhog Day, accepting his little hamster wheel of a life, not as a curse, but as a blessing. So you see, Phil has surrendered. He's surrendered. He's accepted what is, and he's good with it. And he's also learned a valuable lesson, that it's really a life of generosity that truly makes him happy, not a self-centered life. Of course, Andie MacDowell falls in love with him. Oops, we can keep going. There we go. Oh, there's the homeless man. I forgot to cue her. I just take it off. So there's the homeless guy, he helps. And then finally, Andie MacDowell falls in love with the man he has become in that one beautiful day. One more. There we go. Right, it worked great earlier. And that one beautiful day, and the power of true love and his desire to be of service breaks the spell. They finally wake up. It's February 3rd. He's elated. He broke the cycle. He got the girl. He learned the meaning of true happiness. And his last words to Rita and in the film are, I love this place. Let's move here. Complete turnaround for Phil. The end. So the lesson that's in Groundhog Day for us is that most of us at some point in our life have felt trapped. We felt trapped in a cycle or a situation that we felt we had no power over. And it could either be a endless cycle of a habit, a rut, a job we don't like, but we feel stuck. Now, Myrtle Fillmore, one of Unity's co-founders, really Myrtle was Unity's founder, but we call Myrtle and Charles co-founders now. She wrote that sooner or later we come to the place in our development where we are no longer satisfied to go on living the old life without the knowledge of our oneness with Spirit. So Phil's attempts to avoid change, even to the most extreme degree, have failed, but the lesson's clear. You cannot escape that inner calling of Spirit. Once that seed of perfection is awakened in you, it will haunt you relentlessly until you do something about it. So Phil's personal journey for us represents that archetypal journey, that 18 inches, they say, is the longest journey you make from your head to your heart. It was from his ego consciousness to his Christ consciousness, from his addiction to freedom, from resistance to acceptance and release, and from expressing who he was not to expressing who he truly was. And that's possible for all of us. And we don't have the luxury, like Phil, of living the same day over and over again, but we do have the luxury of living each day over and over again until we get it right. We can wake up each morning and decide that we want to do good today, bless everyone we come in contact with, look for opportunities to be of service wherever we are, and create our own personal Groundhog Day, living life to its fullest. So I've come up with 3 steps that might help us keep on our course throughout this year. 3 steps for kind of staying your course and reminding yourself who you really are. The first one is forgive yourself daily and move forward fearlessly. This has to do with self-esteem. You know, our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves, it's at the root of our manifestation process. You cannot draw to you what you don't feel you deserve. Your self-worth has to be in place and strong, and that affirmation, that which is in me is greater than that which is in the world. That's the affirmation to help strengthen our self-esteem. Number 2, recommit to your resolution each day. Okay, so every day you can't say, I got off my diet yesterday, I failed. You've got to recommit to it every day. One day at a time, as the 12-steppers say. You need not look any farther than that. Just like Phil, all you need to do is decide, when I wake up this morning, how do I want to show up today? And then number 3, no matter how many times you fall, you can begin again. And remember, you have not failed if you have not quit. So as long as you're not quitting, you haven't failed. You can keep going until you succeed. So here's some interesting trivia. Some people, big fans of the movie, have added up all the literal days they see in the movie, plus all the implied days, how long it takes to learn to play piano or speak French or ice sculpt, that Phil spent 12,395 days in Punxsutawney. That's almost 35 years. And some movie geeks have watched it and counted up just a little over 8 years worth of days. So somewhere between 8 and 35 years Phil spent in Punxsutawney. Now, metaphysicians would say that he spent 40 years in Punxsutawney. That's the number of completion. In other words, that means he was there until he got the job done, until it was finished. But the important thing to remember is that to always keep the faith. Remember that you haven't failed if you haven't given up, and that you have the choice to forgive your own sins, to begin each day with a new soul where your sins are forgiven and where your slate is eternally clean. And that's a very empowering thought for us. Let's take a moment now to go into meditation. As we take our deep breath in, and we feel that very energy of God that's in the air, the Easterners call it prana, God's life energy in the air we breathe. We breathe that air in, and we see that energy going into our heart space and just opening up our hearts. You are powerful beyond belief. You need not suffer. Let me lead you now. The quest says that what was and what is has no effect on what can be. What can be in your life is not affected by what was, by your past, or by the present. So in your mind's eye, I'd like you to bring up a mirror where you can see yourself. And in this mirror, you're looking at yourself. Look deeply into your eyes, into your own eyes, and say with all the sincerity you can muster, I forgive you. Go forth today with a clean slate and feel worthy to accept everything, all the gifts that this day can bring you. For this we give great thanks. We bring ourselves back into this now moment. We give thanks for our sacred brothers and sisters around us that contribute to this experience of the divine that we have here this morning. We go forward today with great expectations of beautiful things happening for this day unfolding just as it should. Go Chiefs. And we affirm that it is so by saying, and so it is together. Did I break the mood? Just a little bit. I'm terribly sorry. Okay. I guess I'm a fan. I don't know. I guess I'm just a fan. The day unfolding. So, it's time for our love offering. Is it not? No. Oh, I didn't hear you, Lily. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't do silence. Okay. Yeah. We didn't have our little commune in silence, but we're going to sing "Flow Through Me" now. Beautiful. Thank you, Lily. Lily doing a great job over here. I love seeing the music team from out here. It's awesome. Really awesome. So as you prepare your love offering, keep in mind that you can give in the traditional way, or you can give in the 21st century way by texting your gift via the Tithely app. You just text "give" to 540-418-1228. Jazz hands. Paula wasn't here. I had to do that this morning. But before, as you're preparing your love offering, now we have a special presentation from one of our board members, Brother Jim Hudson. He's going to come up and talk to us a little bit about prosperity.
So as Richard said, I've had the privilege of being on your board of trustees as a non-voting member for 5.5 years. A great gig if you ever get asked to serve. I'm going to talk about where I'm at with giving, and then a little bit about my transformational path of how I transformed from a scarcity conversation or consciousness to a consciousness of abundance. So as far as where I am with giving, it feels really good to contribute to something that I know will make a huge difference. As far as the capital campaign, the expansion, and even tithing 10% to the operations. And the bonus for me personally is that in giving that money, what I realized is I never needed that money anyways. And so I can give up a lot of fear and anxiety around having enough money. So how did I get there? I came here in 2007, a bit of a mess personally in every area except my bank account. Went very hungry for transformation. Found a number of transformational programs and really great coaches that helped me transform my entire life. I mean, my work life, my relationship to myself, to other people, and I actually created this beautiful relationship with my wife, Penny. But what I didn't transform was my relationship to tithing 10%, to where I'm spiritually fed. And then Edwin Gaines came along with her program of the four spiritual laws of prosperity, a simple guide to unlimited abundance. It says it on the cover. I will say it's not simple. You can't read the book and put it on the shelf and be prosperous. You actually have to put things in structure in your life to actually take her coaching and do this if you expect to be prosperous from using this program. But it does work. I've had probably the best 3 years of investing since putting this in practice. So I know it works. And Edwin says it works. And I don't really know how it works, but I will say that you basically are working through a checklist of all the areas and barriers in your life to receiving your good. So.
I believe we are, no, okay. Yeah, you're good. We're good? Good. So as you prepare your love offering, let's get ready to give to this ministry and say together our offertory blessing. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Giving, it's giving back to you. Giving, it's giving back to you. Giving, it's giving back to you. Press down, shaking it, shake it up. And back. Measure, it's giving back to you. Ah, beautiful. Thank you, Lily. So this song I wrote with David Roth. We were on a road trip and he pulls out his little thing of songs and we find out and he sees this saying that says, I want to live forever. So far, so good. And in the David's beauty, he can create a song from anything. So we wrote this together. I'd just rather use this if that's okay. For this. There's a little slap on my behind. So far, so good. I came into this world a crying. So far, so good. Baby steps on baby feet. All the food I need to eat. And everyone takes care of me. Woo! So far, so good. Well, I picked myself up off the ground. So far, so good. Soaking in the sights and sounds. So far, so good. Learning how to find my way, how it works and how it plays. I count my blessings every day. So far, so good. Here we go. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far. One more moment, 1 more minute. We find the good and get right in it. Twist and shout and turn and spin it. So far, so good. Well, I finally found my Mrs. Right. So far, so good. I say my prayers and hold on tight. She's a ministry. She knows everything I do. Putting on a pound or two. Me, not you, honey. Love is blind. Hope it's true. So far, so good. Here we go. Ready? So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far. One more moment, one more minute. We find the good and we get right in it. Twist and shout and turn and spin it. So far, so good. And each day I wake up believing, grateful that I'm still breathing. Nick Forth, everybody. It's nighttime and it's time for bed. I've got a place to lay my head. How about you? For everyone who's not so blessed, I say a prayer and send my best. Now I lay me down to rest. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far. As long as we can stay together, life just keeps on getting better. I wish that I could live forever. So far, so good. Learning how to find my way, how it works, how it plays. Count my blessings every day. Everybody, so far, so good. Thank you. Wow. So we dedicate and consecrate this offering in its physical form and in the energy and intention in which it was given to go out into the world to do the work of the living Christ Spirit in the world. For this we give thanks. We move forward with great expectations of beautiful things happening. Let's all say it together, and so it is. Thank you, guys. See you soon. There you go. Nice. All right, well, now it's time that we welcome anybody who's here for the first, second, or third time. We don't want you just to come back once. Anyone here for the first? Raise one finger. Second, raise two fingers. Third, raise three. The first time, you get a little card that you can take into our bookstore for you first-timers. We have a 2 over here. And you can get a service, you can get a CD of the service, a previous service. Our second, if you're here for the second time, you guys are going to get 2 CDs, one of Empowering Music from Power Music and Arts, and a CD of Sacred Prayers from Unity. And if you guys come back again, you're going to receive Unity's Daily Devotional, Daily Word for our third-timers. So thank you. Let's give them a hand. Welcome. Your second time. You're doing a great job, Peggy. How you doing? Let me make sure you're on. You are, okay. She's on. She's really on.
If you are ready to become a member of Unity Renaissance, there is one opportunity that's still available for this time period, and that is on Saturday at 10 a.m. to take the required class, Pathways to Discovery. So if you want to join those wise people who've already signed up on the hall wall to become members, sign up on the hall wall and be there Saturday at 10 o'clock for this class. And then you will be presented, I don't know when,
February 16th is our new member Sunday.
to the whole congregation, and they will look at you and say, oh, they are so smart.
We just thought it's a good idea for you all to have an understanding of unity, how we differ from traditional Christianity, and a little bit of a history as you become a member. And if you're a member, you get a 10% discount in our bookstore.
Right.
And you also get to vote on important things happening here and help guide the future of our church. Yay, discount. It's finally here, day after tomorrow. Tom Baker's class, Matters of the Heart. 4 weeks in a row. You can sign up for that. Come to one or come all. And if you put your name on the hall wall, we will send you a link so that you can watch it at home via live stream. Not live stream, but at home via link. You can't just turn on your computer and tune in. You have to sign on the wall, and we send you a link on Monday that will enable you to tune in to Tom's class. So you can come in person, which I recommend, or if you can't come, stay at home and enjoy the class. Either way, it's going to be awesome.
This church will be showing our next Higher Consciousness film this Friday at 7 p.m. It's the story of Harriet Tubman, and her courageous act of liberating hundreds of enslaved human beings.
Every year, one of our biggest events is the men's auction and dinner. And this year it's going to be on February 21st. It starts at 6 p.m. We provide you some dinner and lots. We fill the sanctuary with a lot of the biggest yard sale you've ever seen, basically. So between now and the 21st of February, we're asking that you all, as you go through your house and go through your garage, kind of spot some nice things that you can bring in, and that can be auctioned off. We can have a nice big swap sale here. And every year the men use that money for some special project. This year, the money raised from the silent auction is going to be used to buy furnishings for our new wing. Our construction budget didn't include inside furnishings, so the men are stepping up and using this auction to raise money for furnishings. So be sure to do that. You can bring your stuff in all throughout the week, and let us know if you have anything large that you need lugged in here, and we'll help you out with that.
Great. Well, this church knows how to lift you spiritually and at the same time let you have fun. So there is going to be a football fellowship this Sunday. It's a special day, I think. You know, today. I said this Sunday.
Yeah,
This Sunday.
That is this Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday. This Sunday. Come back. It is a football fellowship, and you know, there's a little game that's taking place. And
we can't call it the Super Bowl.
We can't use that word like a Super Bowl. We can't say Super Bowl.
We could say Supper Bowl.
We're going to have a
Supper Bowl.
We're going to have a Supper Bowl watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How's that? We're having a Supper Bowl watching the Super Bowl. So bring in your favorite dish.
I think this is going to be the Chiefs side and it's going to be the Niners side. We'll see what happens here.
Wear your favorite team paraphernalia and,
bring something.
And, be the spiritually enlightened people that you are when you see a certain team making all of those touchdowns. But we will lift it up high, and we will be spiritually calm.
There'll be no gloating or rubbing it in.
No gloating, no rubbing it in.
And bring something to share and beverage of choice. You can bring clear beverages in the sanctuary. That includes white wine, vodka, rum.
Ginger ale.
Okay.
Ginger ale. Okay.
Anyway, looking forward to that.
Yes.
Did somebody call my name? Yeah, we fixed it. I think the Niners are just a little smaller because the Chiefs are just a little favored to win by just by a couple points, so we just had to do it. Anyway, come back if you have, we'll have fun at game time.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Is that all of our announcements? All right. Well, let's welcome our youth in. Come on, guys. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. Walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. Oh, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. Oh, we are walking in the light of God. Walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. Woo! Well, look at you guys. You guys, I guess they should go first. They're holding that big heavy thing up. How y'all doing? What'd you do today? Who's your spokesperson? Okay. All right, hold this up.
We made a cooperation quilt.
A cooperation quilt. Right? This says to help. Oh, this says to help my mom go inside when it's raining. Violet says to be loving. I will help the homeless. Oh, wonderful. Shave ideas. I don't know what that means. It'll be interesting. Oh, share ideas. I will be kind and loving. I will help my friends up when they fall down. That's so sweet. Isn't that sweet? And I will wash the dishes for my mom and dad if they ask. Oh, if they're busy. Way to go, you guys. Would you like to say something?
Working and playing together, everyone wins.
Working and playing together, everyone wins. How about you guys? Okay, Zoe, what do you say?
So we read a book about listening, and we had this little activity where I was God's voice, and I was speaking softly while everybody else was making a lot of noise. So I was telling Yanni to make a sandwich, and he's got something to share about that too.
Oh,
He was blindfolded.
So I was blindfolded in toilet paper. While they were all making noise and she was speaking as the voice of God, my thing was to make a banana and applesauce sandwich while everybody was making noise. So I did everything correctly, but then once she got to the point to slice the banana in half, I actually, my brain kind of got tired, and like the noise was growing, and her voice, it was shrinking, and I couldn't hear it anymore. So then, instead of slicing it in half, I sliced the banana in a whole bunch of slices, and then instead of having 1/2, I had 1/3 of a banana.
So what does that tell us about the distractions of the world? God
It tells that our lesson was that it's hard to listen when God is speaking to you if all the other noises are being so loud.
oh, great. Thank you, Young. Oh, yeah, there's one more thing.
That's why you always have to really be inside your brain and be calm.
So listen.
Listen. All right, here we go. Brother Gavin, what do you got to say, Gav? Wow.
I am wise as I listen to the Christ Spirit within me.
I am wise as I listen to the Christ Spirit within me. Good job.
Also about that listening thing, I was one of the people making the noise, and I kept doing blah 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 the whole time.
You were a good distraction.
I don't know, but I would be all for having Zoe be the official voice of God from now on. Is there anyone back here who would like to say anything? All right, wonderful. Well, thank you guys very much. Let's all stand now for our prayer for protection and our peace song. Join hands if it's comfortable for you. When do the kids go out?
In the middle of the song.
Together? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.